My dear young friends, Namaskar, and I welcome you all on my channel Tutorial AICS IP. In this video, I am going to discuss Chapter 2 Emerging Trends NCERT Solutions for Informatics Practices Class 11. So here we begin. The first question, list some of the cloud-based services that you are using at present. So here you have to mention some of the services which you are using as a cloud computing. So cloud computing, that if you have read the chapter or I have explained in that chapter also. So here some of the services I have listed out. So first, cloud storage. Cloud storage means where you can store your files. If you don't have any computer and you want to store your file, then this cloud service is allowing one option. So these are the some examples: Google Drive, SkyDrive, Dropbox. These three examples I have written. More examples are also there that you can write for cloud storage. Second, I have taken cloud software, that is considered as SaaS. It means that software as a service. So Salesforce, Slack, Zoom. Zoom is also one cloud software. Then cloud infrastructure, that is considered as IaaS. So IaaS, DigitalOcean, IBM is also providing their infrastructure, and Datrium. Then cloud platform, PaaS, PaaS. It is Acquia, AWS, Amazon Web Services, and Heroku. So these are the some cloud-based services example. Question 2, what do you understand by the Internet of Things? List some of its potential applications. So in this question, you have to write the meaning of Internet of Things. I have written in my words, you can write in your words also, but these are the some basic definitions I have taken. So IoT or Internet of Things refers to connecting many devices through hardware or software and communicate with each other as well as human beings through internet to work with collaboration and assist each other and form a networking of things. That means you can connect many devices at one place by using internet. You can connect your switches, switchboards, lights, door sensors, then lock, whatever you are wearing like a wristwatch or something which can be used as a remote control. So that can be used in IoT, Internet of Things, but that cannot be operated beyond the distance. At some distance only we can access these things by using internet. So that is called Internet of Things. You can connect to your computer devices, mobile devices, as well as some electronic appliances which you are using at your home. So that can be connected in IoT. So potential applications of IoT are listed down over here. First one is smart home, then wearables. Wearables means the wristwatch and all. Then smart city. Smart cities are there. Smart cities, they are using smart lights and some of these smart devices. Suppose if we take example of traffic light, then there will be some lights that will be responding according to the user's need or according to the need of the particular system. Then smart grid. Smart grid is also one technology that can be used. And industrial internet. Industrial internet that will be reproduce something or produce the data according to the behavior of customer and client. If you want to read more, you can click on this link, read more. So you will know about IoT. Let me move on. Next question. Write short note on the following: cloud computing and big data and its characteristics. So here cloud computing refers to a virtual computers that can be access a software, a service or storage on internet. This software, services and storage provided by cloud service providers based on payment, or some of them are free also. So you can use at free of cost like Google Drive, SkyDrive. They are giving some space like 15 GB or 5 GB or something, whatever they can provide. So that will be free. If you want to use beyond that, you have to pay some money and you can buy that particular license from their website. It allows to use large applications through the internet without any physical storage. So you need not to have any SSD card or HDD hard disk or any pen drive or any CD DVD to store them. It is already available on the clouds. We can say virtual storage. If you are using Facebook, Google Photos, Google Drive, SkyDrive, etc., These are the examples of cloud computing. Some of the advantages I have listed down here. You can access this data anytime, anywhere on internet. It is cost effective and reasonable cost. So it is available at reasonable cost also, and cost effective means if you are going to purchase a hard drive, you have to buy that hard drive and you have to invest money. If you need to purchase pen drive, even that is also require some investment. On demand sources, whenever you want, you can just apply your login, you can enter your username and password, and you can access the sources. So that is called on demand sources. The fourth is allowed to use resources as per the need. So as per the need, you can access any resource at a time. Then big data and its characteristics. So big data according to Gartner's. So according to her, big data is high volume, velocity and variety information assets that demand cost effective, innovative forms of information processing for enhanced insight and decision making. So my dear young friends, you have used Facebook, you are using Instagram. There you can see there are lots of posts coming every day, lots of status, lots of polls, lots of things they are sharing, lots of links, lots of videos of YouTube videos also we are sharing through Facebook account, Facebook page, Instagram post. So that is considered as big data. The data is totally unstructured. Unstructured means the form of data is not a structured format. Structured format means first heading should be like this should be like this, like that. So that can be considered as a structured data. So there is no structured data, unstructured data. Anyone is sharing images, somebody is sharing photos, somebody is sharing links, somebody is sharing only text posts, somebody is sharing videos, somebody is sharing audios. So these are called unstructured data. There is no specific format is specified. There is no specific type of text is there. No specific type of pattern is followed. So that is considered as big data, and it is available in large volume, high volume, we can say. So that is considered as big data. So day by day, these posts can be in numbers and they will be increased by day. So here this definition clearly focuses on large or huge volume of data which is going to be processed. It can extract information which gives a huge benefit. So it will extract the information because it is not processing, but it will process the data and provide you the information related to your decision making. It can help in decision making. It can provide insight information. What will be there? So everything, insight information it will produce. It can produce some data visualization through the charts. It can produce the data in tabular form also. It can be like anything. When you are using your dashboard, you can understand that where you can see your reporting. So that will be monitoring system. So that will report your status of particular post or particular thing, that you can see in WhatsApp how many likes, how many comments are there. So that is coming there only. So that is considered, or that can be a part of big data. Big data increases the volume day by day as people are increasing with that particular community or particular post. That will be increased day by day, and that is not fixed. It is in huge amounts, so cannot be processed or analyzed using conventional methods. Yes, that is correct. Conventional method means you cannot access this data or you cannot analyze this data through MS Excel or something because it is huge data. So that's why conventional methods are not used. Some of the popular terms associated with big data for processing are data mining, data storage, data analysis, data sharing, and data visualization. So these are the such terms used with big data. So that I will explain. If you need, please comment your doubts in comment section. I will explain that also, and I will make video on that particular these terms. Data mining, what is data storage, that you know very well, but some big data storage is also there. Big data analysis, data sharing, and data visualization. So this thing, some of these things you can get on my YouTube channel or on my blog also. I have written some of the posts and I have uploaded some videos also. So now characteristics of big data. So it is totally rely on these 5V. We can consider as 5 V's for characteristics of big data. So first one is volume. It refers to the number of big data in terms of size. It is in very big size or voluminous data. So means volume is very high. So that can be considered as volume. Velocity, it refers to the rate of transfer at very high speed. After that, when volume is there, that should be rate of transfer, because transfer is there. When you are sharing your post, it is transferring from your server to your news feed, or we can say your feed. So from that feed, the community users can watch it and can like it, can comment on that particular post. Variety. Variety means data is available in different forms like structured, unstructured, and semi-structured. That unstructured I have said already. Structure means there is something which has some specific or particular structure, like heading should be like this, then image can be posted, then text can be posted, then video can be posted, like that. So it is called structure. Unstructured, it can be anything. You can post image, photo, video, anything whenever you want. And semi-structure, that will be some of the structure can be given. If you are posting image, then it should be in this size, it should be in this manner, like that. So that can be considered as semi-structure. It can be different files like text, images, videos, web pages, or any links, etc. you can post. Then veracity, it refers to the intensity of the reliability of data. Intensity means degree. Degree means the trustworthy. That data should be trustworthy. When a large volume of data is going to be processed, sometimes chances are there to produce incorrect data. So when large volumes are automatically uploaded on that particular platform, it can be raise some error also. So that time veracity is applied. So it will just check out that intensity of reliability of data. That data is reliable or trustworthy or not. Last one is value. It is the quantity of data including amount, reliability of data to be processed. So it will be quantity means how many. So that can be considered as a value. Now next, explain the following along with their applications: artificial intelligence and machine learning. For this, I have already uploaded the video. You can watch that video from I button, and I will provide you the link in description as well. So for this answer, refer those video: artificial intelligence and machine learning. Question 5. Differentiate between cloud computing and grid computing with suitable examples. So here it works, cloud computing works on the client server architecture. So that means one server is there that is providing you the information, and you can be considered as a client. Grid computing works on distributed computing architecture. So here it is distributed, means somewhere it is stored and it can be distributed among with the users through the database, through the computer, through the different links. That can be anything in grid computing. Resources are stored on the server and provided to the user as and when required. So in cloud computing, you can see if you have uploaded your file on Google Drive, so that can be uploaded first, then whenever you want, you can open that particular folder from my drive and then you can access. So that will be stored on server and provided to you. In grid computing, resources are stored in a devices and linked with devices. Means at one device it will be stored and then it can be provided by the link or database. In cloud computing, the server is the leader of and controls the architecture. So in cloud computing, server is there. If server is down, you cannot access your data. In grid computing, all devices can be used in collaborative approach. So in grid computing, you can access all the devices by using collaborative approach. Means if some device or something is not working, it doesn't mean that you cannot get your data. You can get your data easily by using these all type of devices. So any device can produce the particular copy of that data. It is more flexible compared to grid computing. Okay, so cloud computing is more flexible. It is less flexible compared to cloud computing. So these are the some differences I have found. If you know any more or something more, you can type in comment section and you can write the question number and answer as well. So some of the students, those who are watching, they can get benefit of it. Question 6. Justify the following statement: storage of data is cost effective and time saving in cloud computing. As it suggests, cloud computing, as we have discussed, it stores data into a server and it is available at almost free of cost or nominal cost. So that can be considered as cost effective. When it comes to time saving, By saving data on internet, there is no need to wait to start up any computer or device. Means at once you have stored some file on Google Drive, then you need not to wait for that much time. It always saves the time, or you need not to search particular thing. If you know that I have saved in that folder, open that and you can access. So that will be time saving. It is easily available with a browser program or app of that particular cloud computing service. So it can be accessed anytime from anywhere. So that is considered as cost effective and time saving. You can also enhance this answer by using your own words. Question 7. What is the on-demand service? How it is provided in the cloud computing? On-demand service means that data is available as and when required. In cloud computing, users can access any file by using a login with a username or email account and password. This is called on-demand service. On-demand service means when you need that data will be provided. So you need to register by your account to that particular cloud service provider. Then they will provide the data on demand. So when you log in with your username and password, it will give access of that particular data. So that can be considered as on-demand service. Write examples of the following. Government provided cloud computing platform. So the government of India has provided a government cloud service named Meghraj. So by clicking on this, you can read the information related to Meghraj. Then, or Meghraj, whatever you are pronouncing. Option B, large scale private cloud service providers and the services provided by them. So that you know very well, as we have discussed earlier, Google is large scale private cloud service providers which provide storage, web services and many more things. So YouTube itself one cloud computing or cloud service we can say provided by the Google. So there are many. So now this following question answer based on MCQ. A company interested in cloud computing is looking for a provider who offers a set of basic services such as virtual server provisioning and on-demand storage that can be combined into a platform for deploying and running customized applications. What type of cloud computing model fit these requirements? So option A, platform as a service, software as a service, infrastructure as a service. So here you can see they want to use basic services as a virtual service provisioning and on-demand storage that can be combined into platform deploying and running customized applications. So they need infrastructure. So they do not have that much rich infrastructure. So what they can do, they can use this infrastructure as a service. So the correct answer is infrastructure as a service, which is not one of the feature of IoT devices. Remotely controllable, programmable, can run themselves off if necessary, all of the above. So here you can consider all of the above also as correct answer, because all of the above are not IoT devices feature, because one is not there, that is remotely controllable. Okay, so it cannot be controllable by remote area. That means area with proper distance. It can be accessed up to the particular distance. So that cannot be considered as a remote. You can consider as remote control, but remote control at a specific distance. Here remotely controllable means from anywhere. It cannot be possible. Then question 11, if government plans to make a smart school by applying IoT concepts, how can each of the following be implemented in order to transform a school into IoT enabled smart school? So here some of the options they have given. So these answers you can write according to you also. I have written first e-textbooks, how they can provide, they can generate e-library and they can provide that particular books. Smart boards can be used with stylus, digital stylus or pen should be connected with the network. So when that network is available, that can be easily used. Online test, they can provide a web portal or they can develop particular app, and then this examination system can be conducted smoothly, and examination system works properly according to the web portal and their rules also. Then Wi-Fi sensors and classroom doors, it is required to access the network. So Wi-Fi sensors and classroom doors can be used to lock and unlock them. These sensors also provide security to students and other stakeholders. Means when they are coming, they have particular sensor. So that sensor can identify the person who is coming daily to school. Okay, so that type of security can be provided. Sensors in buses to monitor their location. So these sensors enable quick reporting and monitoring to the coordinates and parents to know the status of child and bus after leaving the school. So when you leave the school, your parents will get SMS or something like notification, you are boarding into the bus, you are dropping from bus, like that. So that message can be provided when you dropped by the school bus, that can be automatically received by your parents to your particular pickup point or drop out point, so whatever that. So where you are dropped, that particular SMS can be sent by these sensors only. So these sensors send this activity through mobile services, or in WhatsApp also they can integrate. Wearables, watches or smart belts for attendance monitoring. Yes, these devices can be used for implemented for students in such a way that identifies a student and mark the attendance accordingly. Question number 12. 5 friends plan to try a startup, however they have a limited budget and limited computer infrastructure. How they can avail benefits of cloud services to launch their startup. So whenever you are thinking about for any startup or any services, they can go for registration with any suitable service provider, either government or private. They can register for infrastructure as a service to avail the facility of cloud storage and deploy applications initially. So when you are starting up the IaaS, that will be the beneficial for you. After that, you can go for the platform, then you can go for the software as your business is increasing. Question number 13. Governments provide various scholarships to students of different cases. Prepare a report on how blockchain technology can be used to promote accountability, transparency, and efficiency in the distribution of the scholarship. So as you are aware, in blockchain technology, a separate ledger is created for individual and stored so that transparency and efficiency automatically improves. The students who can avail the scholarship in their ledger only, so they will be provided one copy, like one copy we can say. These transactions are also more authentic and it is secured also. So that way this can be distributed. How IoT and WOT are related. Very common thing is that IoT and WOT both can be user on internet to communicate with multiple devices. They can provide a communication medium between various devices. This medium can be an app, a web service, or any network enabled devices. So this way IoT and WOT are related. Now last question, match the following. So here you got a reminder to take medication, so that is considered as smart health. Then you got SMS alert that you forgot to lock the door, that can be considered as number 3. So home automation, you got the SMS alert that parking space is available near your block, so that can be smart parking. And you turn off your LED TV from your wristwatch, that can be considered as smart wearable. So thank you very much for watching this video. If you feel this worth to share in any platform, these buttons are given, and hit this like button on my website, as well as like this video also on YouTube and share with your friends. Thank you very much once again for watching this video. If you are watching my video first time, coming to my channel first time, I recommend you to subscribe my channel and press the bell notification icon to get notified. Keep watching, keep learning.